Hello, my name is Tiffany Blanco, and this is Controlling Your Vag. From mother to daughter. Okay, so I come from a Hispanic family. We are very, very close. There's no shame. There's mostly women in my family, so I have a lot of female role models that I can look up to and they guide me. I also have younger sisters to be a role model for. They look up to me, they love me, and I love them. And this is my mother. Her name's Lorena, and this is the lady that I did the interview with. And she's kind of my best friend, and I love her. So, this is Joanna. She's my older cousin, and she has a big influence on some of the things I learned about womanhood, I guess. This is another picture of her. She's kind of like me, or I guess I want to be like her one day. She's independent and beautiful and very smart. This is my other cousin, Cynthia. She's a college graduate. She has a major in psychology, and she's a therapist. She's great. They're the ones who taught me simple life hacks like to bring a period emergency bag with you at all times, which has been very helpful. They also taught me about boys. This is Josh, my first love. Um, their main advice was basically to stay safe, stay smart, and just be careful because all boys want to do is see you naked. Obviously, that's not true, but this is what they conditioned into me. It doesn't matter what your friends are doing, doesn't matter how popular you think you'll get, just the only way to be successful is to be in control of your own body. My mom always talks about success and how she wants to see me succeed in life. She tells me, you have to be independent now. There's no need to make a family, no need to bring a baby into the world. Once you have a baby, your life changes. She wants me to be strong and independent for as long as possible. So I'm going to move on to the actual interview part. I asked my mother, when did you first learn about birth control? She said in 6th grade. She learned it in school. She was born in 1972, and background information. In 1973, the Roe and Wade rule the constitutional right of privacy to a woman's decision, such as to be able to have an abortion. So my mother was born into the era of where women had the options to have an abortion. So this kind of influenced how she was. She's also not from the United States. She was born in Ecuador, and she moved to moved to California, I think when she was 10 years old. The next question, where else did you learn about birth control? She told me by friends. And then I asked, what other ideas have you learned about controlling birth? And she told me, well, there's always rubbers, or there's birth control pills, there's depot shots, there's many options to prevent a baby. I asked her, are there any changes on how you viewed birth control throughout your years? She said, some birth control get you sick and others make you gain weight. It just depends on how the pill is to your body, the different estrogen level, the different age, and she told me that I have a lower doses because that's what the doctor suggested because I'm kind of little. Next question. Are there changes in how you experience birth control? She said she took the pills in her teens and it made her skin very clear and made her have a more regular period cycle, which is kind of the same for me, the main reason I got on it as well. Yes, the next question, are there any political conditions that influence how you think about birth control? And she said that no, not at all. She believes that everyone has a choice. So, once again, she was born in 1972, so she has the hippie state of mind, as I like to say. She believes that everyone has their own choice and that the government shouldn't be able to have any power on what happens with your body. They're supposed to govern the laws, not your personal thoughts and like personal needs. Next question, are there any social and cultural conditions that influence how you think about birth control? She said some cultures do not believe in any type of birth control, along with some religions, but personally, my family, as in us, she doesn't think that our culture should determine what we do with our body. Next question, are there any economic conditions that influence how you think about birth control? She said, She said, I believe a responsible woman having sex should be able to get on birth control. It benefits them in the long run if they are sexually active at a young age. Then I asked if a person's economic class should have anything to do with birth control. She told me sometimes yes, because birth control can be expensive and lower class people cannot afford it. People with a bit more money, middle or higher class, can afford the better birth control. Example, IUD. I asked what IUD is. I googled and she showed me a picture, and it was just a type of brand. Next question. Are there any geographic conditions that influence how you think about birth control, and in what way? She said, unfortunately, other people do not believe in birth control. This is why other countries besides the US are overpopulated. Other poor countries don't have enough health care to provide birth control as an option. This is very upsetting to her because since she is from South America, a more undeveloped country, she's afraid that her people they have babies at really young age because they have nothing to prevent it. All they know is just that it's okay to have babies at such a young age, my own body, and how to care for it. So, background info. The first Planned Parenthood was opened October 16th in 1916 by Margaret Sangers, and the first one opened in Brooklyn. So now I'm going to talk about my answers for the interview. First question. How and when did you learn about birth control? I learned about it in health class my freshman year, and this was also the first time I've ever heard about the word birth control. Next, where and where else did you learn about it? Mostly just from this health class. However, when I became a senior, my mom talked to me, talked about it with me. She suggested that I should get on the pill because I have horrible cramps, and also from any Planned Parenthood flyers I would get at campus or from the doctors. What other ideas have you learned about birth control? Well, I learned or heard that birth control is used so that you can have unprotected sex all the time, and birth control is used so you don't get pregnant from ejaculation. Birth control is also a way to control your periods. Are there any changes in how you view birth control throughout your life? Well, freshman year, I thought it was only for older women, not teens like me. I thought it was for women that were in serious relationship and too busy to have babies. This is what I've learned from school, and it meant to stop women who have sex on the regular so it would prevent them from having babies. Now, senior year, birth control is good for my body, it helps regulate my period, it gets rid of my cramps, my face is so clear, and I just absolutely love this thing. Now, college I think of it as it's protecting for my future, so I don't become a teen parent. I don't want any babies. I don't have to worry about my period coming randomly because I'm very busy, and I know exactly when my period is supposed to happen. It's not just a guessing game, which is the best part about birth control. Next question. Are there any changes on how you experience birth control throughout your life? Well, I've been on the pill since senior year of high school, and I viewed it as a wonderful gift. It was very helpful for my body. I felt a little bit more mature because I have a responsibility for taking these secret pills like an adult. College experiences as a common thing. It's very normal for ladies my age to talk about it, ask questions to each other, and there's no shame in the topic. My experience is a lot easier because my friends are on it also. Safeway makes it very easy for me to get it every month. They send me a text and they tell me when it's ready to pick up. Next question. Are there any political conditions that influence how you think about birth control? Political view. Obamacare means clinics. Planned Parenthood is allowed to give women the option or like the access to get birth control, which is how I got mine. This wouldn't be available if the government and politics didn't allow women to have the option to control their body. However, there isn't any TV ads or anything helpful on basically television that would influence on how women have access to this, which I feel like we should change. Are there any social and cultural conditions that influence how you think about birth control? I don't think that there's any social or cultural conditions that influence how I think of birth control, but when I was in high school, 2012 to 2015, I hid that I used birth control because I thought it was basically used just to prevent pregnancy. I felt that if I told people I was on the pill, they would assume that I was having sex all the time. Cultural view means that if you take the pill, then you're having a lot of unprotected sex, which is another thing I didn't want people to think I was doing. It was just a bad rep for when I was in high school, but now it's way more. It's a better view on it. Next question. Are there any economic conditions that influence how you think about birth control? By this, I think who's allowed to get birth control. Almost everyone should have the chance to use birth control due to Planned Parenthood. They make it possible for those with low economic status to have access to this. Health insurance makes it available also. There's no restrictions if you're too low or if you're in the middle class or in higher class. However, it is a lot cheaper if you have a more expensive health insurance, so higher class people pay less, which isn't fair because they have money to spend, so they should be the ones paying the full amount. Next question. Are there any geographic conditions that influence how you think about birth control, and in what way? Yes. Where I'm from, California, birth control is legal, so it makes it easy for me to start the pill. However, if this was a different era, let's say 20 years ago, it wouldn't be it wouldn't be as easy to have access to the pill. Also, another part of in the world, it's not legal, so it's probably very looked down upon in different countries. I have a map of how many people around the world take birth control. Are there any difference in how you and the person you interviewed, my mom, experienced the views on birth control? And no, I think my mom and I had the same viewpoints. She's the person who introduced it to me. Um, she's the person who just always reminds me and she's always there for me. So I feel like we have the same viewpoints on it. We both believe that it's our body and we have the right to determine how our future is going to be. Next question. What changes would you like to see happen for future generations? I hope that future generations have more knowledge of birth control. I know women my age that have no idea or have the completely wrong idea of what birth control does to your body. I also hope that the future generation will be more comfortable talking about it, but only when they are of age. High school girls should know that, or they should be taught that birth control is not used just so you can have unprotected sex and have babies, but that it's really a helpful thing and it's very important to people. They should view birth control as an alternative for condoms. Oh, well, sorry, they shouldn't view birth control as an alternative for condoms. They should view it as basically a way to protect yourself and to have control of your body. Thank you.